every person watching this. I know not a lot of people watch this account. Hi, obscure watchers, and me, and my friends. So my name is Nestle. I'm kind of a hobby artist, and I really love Pokemon. So that's why I made this account called Poke Doodles, because I just love to doodle Pokemon. It's a really fun, and it's a great time waster, I have to be honest, and I love it. But today, we are going to be talking about my adventures in retro gaming thrifting. And I'm sorry my camera is wobbling because I'm balancing it on a tissue box. Yeah, you want to see? Yeah, look at that shit. Anyway, so I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and a good buddy of mine named Derrick, he's a real hardcore retro gamer. He loves to collect. He loves to go thrifting, Goodwill's, St. Vinnie's, Salvation Army. He loves to dig around for old treasures like that. It's a lot of fun. I'm not very knowledgeable at it, nor am I as big of a fan as he is. But because due to Pokemon events, we do travel with each other a lot, and so I am dragged along to a lot of his thrifting adventures. And I'm getting a little bit more into it as time goes on, finding my own things that I have interest in, which would be Pokemon. Love to see the Pokemon games. Usually red, blue, yellow, silver, even the Game Boy Advance games like Fire Red and Emerald, they all go for about $20 each, give or take. Pokemon holds its value. It's really neat. So basically, there is a place, it's a St. Vinnie's, it's a thrift store, and twice a year they have a video game event. It's really cool. Basically, they take all of their video game donations and they stockhold them in the back of their warehouse, and then they announce a date that they're going to release them to the public. We got there an hour early so that we could be first in line to get over there and dig through and get all the good stuff right away. I said, I really want to check this out. I want to give it a try. I'm not a very hardcore gamer collector, but I really want to give this a try. And it sounds like a lot of fun. One of my other friends ended up going with us, and so did another extra person of Derrick's. We ended up going with 5 people. This was super helpful, and it was a great turnout because we had 5 people to basically claim their own console and get all the good stuff that they could find. So after freezing our freaking butts and toes off for an hour outside, it's probably like 2 degrees outside. So we rush in there, and my console is the Game Boy. That's what I have to focus on. Derrick gives me a list. Look out for this. Get to the section. I'm the first one to the basket of just random loose Game Boy cartridges, and I'm just digging out, finding every colored Game Boy case because that's what Pokemon looks like. I got all the Pokemon games. So I wanted to share with you my treasures. But before we get on to the Pokemon treasures, let me show you some of the stuff that I found that's not Pokemon. Let me just inform you that we spent over $600 in retro games out of the 5 of us, with a profit value of probably 3 times the amount, if not more. You can ask Derrick for specifics. I don't know. We made a lot of profit. Of course, a lot of this stuff is going to stay in all of our collection. We really appreciate the games, and we really want to have a good time with them, have fun. This is a hobby. We're not going in there just to make a profit, like a lot of people that were. With that said, let's get on to the good stuff. What did I find? Alright, well, let's get on to the non-Pokemon stuff first, shall we? This is a Sonic plushie. I don't know. It was 90 cents. Somebody else was going to get it out of our group. They decided not to because they didn't know what to do with it, and they were already spending a lot of money. I looked at it, I'm like, 90 cents. This thing is in really nice condition. It's super fluffy. There's no stains. It looks perfect. It has the original tag on it, and I recognize this thing from when I was like 8 years old, and I needed a Sonic plushie. I was obsessed with Sonic, and I remember this thing exactly. This is how it was when I was a little kid, and I feel like it's got to be worth something somewhere, but Derrick didn't find a listing for it at all, so if anybody is watching this video and wants this, let me know. So before I get into my next title, let me just explain that I have a great fascination for the horror genre in video games. Absolutely love Silent Hill, and I absolutely love Resident Evil. There's just something about them. There's something about the cheesiness, I don't know, about the thrill, about the ability to scare you. More or less with the Silent Hill than the Resident Evil these days. But, so, I came home with this, Silent Hill 2, for the PS2. I don't really play my PS2 anymore, but I really, you know, I want to start collecting these, all of the Silent Hill and the Resident Evil games, and I really, I just want it in my collection. Speaking of Survivor, I got me a Resident Evil 2. Speaking of survival, Meowth says Nestle freaking can't talk. That's right. Speaking of survival horror, I also picked up a Resident Evil 4 copy for the PS2. You know, since I already own it on the Wii and the GameCube, why not? Oh, I also own it on the Xbox. I really like Resident Evil 4. Speaking of Resident Evil 4, this is a very interesting copy. This is Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, but with a unique twist. It is a playable demo, not for resale. This came out to be worth about $20. I got it for about, I would say, $4. So, it's kind of a neat little gem to have. Resident Evil 4 is probably my second favorite game in the entire world, so I certainly don't mind having this. Alright, on to the Pokemon stuff. So, before we get into the Pokemon stuff, I mean, this has to do with Pokemon because I'm playing it on it. I found a, well, there's a whole story behind this, but this is what I came home with. It's a very dark gray Nintendo SP, Game Boy Advance SP. It is actually you can see, it's a backlit SP, so it has a little more value to it because it's a lot brighter. The SP that I originally had was a Platinum Onyx, and it was a frontlit, so it was a little harder to see, and I'm really happy to have this so that I can play all my retro Pokemon games on it, and maybe do some playthroughs eventually. So there is a funny story behind the SPs. When we got to the thrift store, I didn't see any SPs. In fact, all of the Game Boy consoles were a little obscurely hidden. So at one point, when we were all done getting the really, really good stuff and everybody was already in the store, I look over on a bizarre shelf that's not meant to be video games, and I see like 4 or 5 SPs just stacked up on each other. I look over, it's not in someone's cart. I went right over there and I just grabbed them. My buddy Derrick's just like, wait, what? These were $5.50 each. $5.50, and they're worth $20 to $30 depending on their condition. This one's a little scuffed up, but it's extremely nice. It works great. It's gonna be great for me. Many of them were scuffed up, but they're all gonna resell for a lot of money than what we paid for. So a lot of my friends have been telling me that, Nestle, you've never played Mystery Dungeon? What's wrong with you? And I have no idea what the heck Mystery Dungeon is. I've heard of it, but I don't even know how the game works. So I picked up 2 Mystery Dungeons, actually. This was complete in the case. It looks a little bit more recent. It's Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness for the Nintendo DS. I don't think I'll be playing this first. What I will be playing first is this one. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. And my buddy said this would be a good one for me to start from. So we'll give that a shot first. These were $5.50 each. You ready for this? These are usually about $20 each. I got Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sapphire, and Emerald is the last one. My Pokemon collection that is not DS is almost complete, and that was my goal today. I wanted to get every Pokemon game that I could play on my Game Boy player. So this is really, really exciting for me. I'm just so excited to have, especially these old gems. And the great thing about these, I tested all these games, and every single battery works. So these are all playable, and they're all able to be saved, which, I mean, perfect for me. I don't have to have my friend change the batteries on them and go through all that. How many Pokemon games did I throw into my cart? I believe it was somewhere around 15. 15 Pokemon games for $5.50 each. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, all the N64s were in the same pile. I did not see my beloved Pikachu N64. And then Derrick pointed to a cart next to us, and someone had it in their cart. A Pikachu N64. It even had a controller. Ugh. But it was apparently in some random section of the store, and I didn't see it when I was going to the Game Boy, and I missed out. I can't wait to go again this August or somewhere this summer when they have it going on. It was so much fun. Woo, thrifting! Thanks, Derrick, for showing me the way. Thanks so much for watching my video. I know it wasn't the most spectacular thing, but hopefully you got a kick out of it, and I hopefully will see you later. Bye! Bye! Bye, Day-Day! Bye! Day-Day's like, what the fuck? Let me sleep! Meow, 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 meow. Ow! I poked myself on the pipe cleaner. What am I doing? I'm just talking to myself.